wholesaler. To this date, I've closed 95 vacant land deals, and today I'm going to walk you through my fourth ever closed transaction where I made $7,000. Walk you through every step of the way as to how I was able to generate a lead that was able to make me $7,000 net, and how you can do it yourself. With this being my fourth deal, I had already reinvested a lot of the money that I had made from my 3 previous deals into my business, and I had subscriptions and a skip tracing company that I was already working with. By this time, I had a subscription to Batch Leads, PropStream.com, and ClearSkip.com was where I would do my skip tracing. So what I did was I went on PropStream and I cultivated a list in Hall County, Georgia. I made sure that the lot size minimum was 10,000 square foot because I didn't want any properties to be too small to come back, and I didn't want to spend money on those properties. I didn't set a maximum at this time because I was okay with getting bigger pieces of land. I made sure that the deals were not on the MLS. The property owner was an individual that lived either out of state or out of county. Once I had my list made, I sent it to clearskip.com for skip tracing. ClearSkip returned the list within 2 hours with phone numbers and emails. So at that time, I put that list into Batch Leads and started texting leads asking if they were interested in selling their properties. I came across the lead 3186 Baker Road, and it showed on PropStream as a residential vacant land lead. So I texted the seller and asked if they were interested in selling. They said yes. It turns out that the property had a mobile home on it that was no longer livable. It didn't add any value. If anything, it was more of an expense because it needed to be torn down and hauled away. Knowing that, I looked around and saw regular residential vacant land comps were selling for $25,000 up to $30,000. So knowing that I would have to have the mobile home torn down and hauled away, I offered $13,000 and they accepted. I sent them a purchase and sale agreement for $13,000 plus closing costs. After their review and approval, I sent it through DocuSign so that way both sellers and myself could sign the DocuSign. Now, once it was under contract, I actually didn't even have to market this property at all. I had a buyer in mind who had been asking me for mobile home zone land in this particular city. They wanted to spend less than $25,000, and they wanted it in Hall County, and they wanted to be able to place a mobile home on it if they chose to do so. So I sent them a text message with the address, and I told them, hey, I can have you buying this property for under $25,000. Please let me know something soon. That day, they went out to the property, they took a look at it, they texted me back and said, yeah, let's do it. Now, this buyer was a family friend, and they were not as tech savvy, so I had to actually print the contract and take it to them in person. I took it to them for $20,000 plus closing costs on their end. Now, with this being a family friend, I wasn't sure how I felt about them knowing that I was going to make $7,000 even though they were getting a great deal. So what I did in this case, when you want to not disclose how much you're going to net on a deal, you do what's called a double closing. So in this instance, I did a second purchase and sale agreement with my end buyer for $20,000 plus closing cost. So I took my first purchase and sale agreement for $13,000 and my second one for $20,000, and I sent that over to the closing attorney. The closing attorney had both agreements, and they began title search. So once the title search process started, the only issue after the title search was the deed for the mobile home that was on it that was unlivable. So I had to reach out to the seller to see if they had that deed from when they originally purchased it. Luckily, in this case, it was a simple fix. They did have the deed to the mobile home, so they sent that over to title. Other than that, everything was clear to close. So on the day of closing, I went and I signed the closing documents for both sets of closings. Now, this closing attorney was pretty cool in that they didn't charge me any closing costs on the A to B portion because they were able to put the closing costs on the B to C portion and treat it as one smooth transaction. So that is how I was able to net $7,000 even. Now, this deal was actually excellent for my end buyer. They were able to take it after they purchased it, and they went there themselves with no help of anyone else, and they cleaned up the property. They made a clear cut for the driveway. They got rid of the mobile home. They actually were able to keep this old 1970s Chevy pickup that was left on the property free of charge. They could just have it. The owner didn't want to deal with it. It didn't have a key, it didn't have a title, it didn't have anything. So they were able to keep that. I'm not even sure how they got that mitigated with no title, but they got that as a bonus. They were able to clear the land, take the mobile home down and haul it away and set up a good home site. They were then able to turn around and sell this for profit themselves. I believe they made anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000 after purchasing it from me, where I made $7,000. This is another great example of reverse wholesaling, which is where you have your buyer lined up before you even have your deal. It makes it much easier to dispo your deal whenever you get something under contract if you've already got that buyer in mind. So if you want to get started for free today before you even pay for any subscriptions or skip tracing services, you can go in Facebook groups, you can talk to people at your local real estate meetups, find people that are buying land and ask them where are they looking, what lot size, what do they want to do with it, whether they want to build or put mobile homes on it, what price range are they looking to be in. Ask them all the pertinent questions. That way you can either go and look for people to JV with for free, or if you've got a little bit of money, you can go and make your own list catered to this buyer, skip trace it, and generate some leads for them to buy. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, just continue to follow along. You can subscribe, you can like the video, whatever. Just be on the lookout for more videos where I will continue to take you through every single deal that I've done, all 95 of them, and then you will hopefully be able to begin your land wholesaling journey. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can reach out to me on here, you can email me, you can DM me on social media, you can add me on Facebook, whatever. I'm here to help for free. I'm not doing any one-on-one coaching right now. Not really what I want to do. I want to continue to focus on my land wholesaling business and share free knowledge.